Hello and welcome to Three Questions with. Got my longtime friend Matt Mercier with us from Acapella. Good afternoon, Matt. Welcome to the show.
Happy good afternoon to you, Kevin. Nice to see you.
So, Matt, today we're going to go into kind of an interesting direction. I guess this one's called All of Kevin's Mistakes. That's what I want to talk about today and stuff. So Matt, my first mistake was I didn't understand the importance of budgeting. So
Yeah.
when I was CFO of the bank, I'd have some great months. There was no IT expense. Nothing went wrong. And I'm like, yes. Then month four, everything went wrong. And I'm like, well, that just killed my profitability because I had a lot of high IT expense. That's why I'm a fan of managed services. Here's the monthly cost. And when I need you, you're there for me. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense that it's been I had the good fortune of when I first started my business, going to a seminar and they talked about managed services. I literally just was putting my feet on the ground and they said, this is the way that this is going to go. And here's why.
Yeah.
And I had the good fortune of having those kinds of relationships with nearly all of my customers since the very start. And the real to your point, the real beauty of that is that it's budgetable for everyone. You come up with a monthly stipend that says it's we're gonna Kevin, this is what we're gonna charge you per month to look after your bank. And indeed there would be months when there were no there I made plenty of money. I charge you your full stipend, and all we did was some background stuff, right? I mean, there's never nothing,
Yeah.
but we do all the backroom stuff,
Sure.
and we don't have any preposterous expenses. And then, as you say, there'll be a month or two when we have to be on site. There's catastrophes, but if we've set your stipend correctly, it all evens out, and it's all perfectly manageable and budgetable for everyone, and it works out very, very well, and it saves a lot of pain.
It does. So, Matt, one of my scariest things when I worked in the bank, because I was also technically the CIO, because I sat closest to the server and I knew it was a server, and that's just downright scary in the banking
It
environment.
is.
But we were faced with buying a new teller platform software, and it was over $200,000. And nobody in the bank wanted to make that decision. As
Right.
CFO, IT guy, it was my decision, which was ironic because I never used the software. So I couldn't look at it and say, this one clearly has the features we need. And I sat there and I'm like, oh my God, my job is on the line. No stretching imagination. It's this up every day. Like, well, Cav, tried to save 10,000. So he went with Matt's version.
Sure.
So to me, if I had the ability to do over, I would have asked someone like you to be a consultant in this. Come in and ask some of those technical questions
Hmm.
to make sure that I wasn't going, well, this one's 20,000 cheaper. So let's go with that as CFO. That was my tendency. I could just save 20 grand.
Yeah.
Okay, here we have three of them. I'm going to go with the one in the middle because at least I wasn't trying to
Right.
save,
The cheapest one's never the best, right? That's
and I can't afford the high end one. So we'll go for the one in the middle.
right. Right.
So can you help people through that process of choosing,
Yeah.
what to do?
Yeah, positively. The at the heart of that kind of a decision, it's going to sound simplistic and silly, but I've helped with software selection processes in the past, and you literally put the names of the process of the products down the left-hand side, and you put all of the things that people say that they need. Well, I know Jimmy, and who's a teller, isn't going to want to help make this decision because his butt will be on the line.
Sure.
But I
Yeah.
can ask him, what are the things that are important to you
Yeah.
in your day-to-day work? And they'll say, well, there's this and that and this and that, and you put them all on there. And what are the things? The right questions make all the difference. You say, what are the things that the product that you use now doesn't do that you think you should be able to do and would love to be able to do? Well, put them up there,
Yeah.
right? And then literally just put X's in the boxes that correspond with this product and this functionality, and the one with the most X's, well, it's a simplistic view, but the
Right.
one
Yeah.
with the most X's wins, right? Or gets a little more consideration. And now you've gotten input from all the stakeholders without having to make them make the decision.
Right.
And the CFO has something empirical that he can say, yeah, this one checks all the boxes.
Yep.
And then there might be, for something that costs a couple $100,000, like what you're talking about, there are experts in particular verticals that you and I might call in to help with a decision. We're not going to count on my little spreadsheet to make all the decisions, but we could identify together someone who's a recognized expert in the field and ask for their feedback on our little spreadsheet and all the things that we think we need and want. And that's really the best way to make the decision.
So the last question I have is just on equipment, because I know I've been on both sides of this. Back when having a laptop was a big deal. I mean, I'm aging myself a little bit, but
Yeah.
I bought a laptop that was, I don't know, whatever the top car is. I mean, it was just beyond belief. I spent a lot of money on it. And after I had it, I'm like, oh, this is really nice, but it's probably nicer than I need.
Right.
And I've also, not that long ago, went in the opposite direction. I had my nephew order me up a laptop. He's like, you sure about this? I'm like, yeah, it should be fine. It was not fine. It was
No.
way too slow. And
Right.
he's, and I call him like, this isn't working. He goes, yeah, because you didn't listen to me. You didn't buy what I told you to because you didn't want to spend the money.
Right.
You get what you pay for, boss. And he goes, do you want me to order you a new one? Yes. I had to, just swap it out and stuff. So can you help people truly understand what they need so they're not overpaying, but at the flip side, they're not trying to cheap out and, okay, I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to go get a sandwich, come back, and the program might be open.
Right.
That's what it felt
Right.
like on my end.
Yeah, I know.
Guide
Yeah,
people.
we can absolutely help with that sort of thing. With our customers, we have some pretty distinct insights into what they have. So we can take a look at the age of all the machines that they have. We have some guidelines. You want to get 5 years out of a 3 to 5 years out of a workstation, 5 to 7 years out of a server. And here's the state of your network. These are all your machines and how old they are. And from there, we determine in that whole infrastructure which machines in which order need replaced. And then we can have discussions to your point about, what does this person actually do? Are they crunching big numbers? Are they doing graphics work? Are they just surfing the web and checking email? And we can make recommendations to make sure that people are able to do their work without breaking the bank, right? So we can please the end user and the C-level people who just don't want to spend a whole lot of money that they don't need to spend. They're willing to spend what they need to spend, but don't want to waste any money. No one does. No one does. Nobody in business wants to waste any money. So we can absolutely, our best customers are those that will take that meeting, right? They want the advice that we are equipped to give them and then follow it. The other people are just, no, I'm going to buy all refurbished laptops and it's going to work out fine.
Yeah.
But there's much more to it than that, and people who are willing to spend the time and allocate their money properly to make the best decisions are our best customers.
Makes sense. Matt, what's the best way for people to reach out to you? How can they learn more?
Yeah, so www.acapella.com, spelled ACA, P as in Peter, ELLA.com, and our telephone number here at the office is 603-647-1784.
Matt, I appreciate taking a few minutes to call into the show. And as always, thanks for being my friend.
Always my pleasure, pal. Talk soon.